Hey everyone, it's Mr. Chris at the Hudson Area Public Library coming to you with another STEM video. And I wanted to share something. It's going to be something where you can see we're in the middle of summer camps. All the activities behind me, we're packing up for virtual camps. And we're looking forward to having some in-person programming starting back in the fall. So I've been acquiring some things for that. And I thought I'd share one with you, give you kind of a preview of something that I hope that you can all interact with in the fall when we do a program around this. So some of you may have seen a poster like this at your school. You don't really get into this until high school. For most people, learning the periodic table. So this is a chart kind of miniaturized what some of the bigger school posters look like. So this has all the elements that exist kind of grouped on a chart. So they're numbered and they have a letter abbreviation, and they also have a color coding chart to indicate if they're metal or noble gas or partial metal, and different categories for things. So a lot of these things are items that you interact with every day. Copper, nickel, titanium, aluminum, things like that. So they're all on this chart, all the elements. So it can get a little boring, a little overwhelming just looking at the chart. You're supposed to kind of memorize that. You get quizzed on it. So I found an item that I think is pretty interesting, which makes it a little bit more accessible in a different way. So this is a periodic table, but with actual physical elements in there. So you can see I've just started with 2. So I'm going to be collecting these and sharing them with you. So it's got the periodic holder, which has all the same numbers and letter abbreviations as that poster I just showed you. But you'll notice a lot of the slots are clear because I have not purchased a cube yet, but there's 2 in there. So we're going to look at those today. So these are all the same size. Like I'll pull out element 26. This is copper. So you can see the CU abbreviation for copper. You should see a number 26 on there, and it says copper. And these are perfect 5 millimeter square. So if you got a metric ruler, you want, those are little 5 millimeter increments. If I could put my cube on there, I'll go right between the 9 and the 10. You can see how that is exactly 5 millimeters square on all sides. And all the elements that I can order from this company are cut the same way. So they're pure, like this one is copper. So it's 100% copper. You can see that copper penny hue to it. And then the interesting thing is with them being all the same size, some kids think they all weigh the same. But I'm going to show you the 2 elements I have currently on the chart are copper, and I have carbon. So I'm going to try to tilt my camera down so you can see my scale here. So we're going to weigh the copper, if you can see the weight on that. And then I'll remove that so you know what the number, 0.3. Now we're going to put the carbon, 0.6. So that's one interesting thing right off the top that not a lot of people realize, is that even though these are the identical same size, every cube I get is going to be 5 millimeters square. They have different weights. So they're not just the same to them. So same size, but different weights. So that gets into issues of why would it be heavier, density, things like that. So these are great. And then the carbon one, again, carbon you might be more familiar with as like graphite in a pencil. That comes from carbon, and we're made of carbon. So that's another interesting thing on these periodic tables, where you can hold this and feel the weight of it and the weight compared to other objects. And then to learn some facts like carbon, your body has a ton of carbon in it, so much so that you could make 8,000 graphite pencils out of the carbon that's in your body. 8,000. That's a lot of pencils. So that's what we're based on, is carbon. And then the copper is really cool. It's an antibacterial element. So that's come into play lately with trying to keep surfaces clean and disinfecting everything. Anything made of copper, bacteria does not like to live anywhere near copper. So it's kind of a pure element, and it has a lot of those properties where it naturally is going to have any bacteria growing or landing on it. And then it's a really good metal to mix with other metals. So it's really good at making alloys. And in fact, if you have pennies in your pocket or in your house, pennies are not solid copper. They look copper on the outside, but they're a cheaper metal on the inside called zinc, which is another element on the tray that hopefully we'll get to. But newer pennies are copper coated zinc. And so copper makes alloys really well, it blends with other metals really well. And so that's why it's easy to make pennies that way, where it's got a zinc inside and a copper coating on the outside, but it's not solid copper for a penny. So those are something I want to show you on the new periodic table chart that I will be ordering a few of these at a time and slowly filling up my periodic table until it looks a little something more like that. But I thought instead of just the kind of boring poster or trying to look at those kind of abstract names and just try to remember what they are and what they mean, if you actually got to handle and weigh and check out and kind of learn some facts about those elements and see where they go on the tray, it might make it a little bit easier to make a connection, a little bit easier to understand what those elements are and how we interact with them and how we use them for things every day. So I just want to share that with you for a little STEM teaser video of a program that we'll hopefully have here in the fall, and something that you can interact with and again, weigh them on the scale and compare them and do things like that. So I hope you have a great summer, or continuing to, and maybe I'll see you at some of the virtual camps later on this summer, and we'll hit you again soon with another STEM video. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.